Hello, last week I read you a letter to my daughter just as she was about to turn 4, and this time it's my son's turn as he's just about to turn 6 this weekend. They have exactly a week in between their birthdays, which means that we can do a big party, which is quite a nice thing to do. And that's happening this weekend, so I may well be totally frazzled by Monday morning. Anyway, here is my letter to my son as he is about to turn 6. Dear beautiful boy, this week you turned 6. On Monday I drove past the hospital that you were born in, and I thought about my labour and how different it was to your sister's, and how relaxed and calm it was. Not that she wasn't, but she just arrived quicker than you did. And how I'd spent the night in hospital watching Doctor Who on my iPod, because iPads weren't around really then, and just chilled and relaxed even though I knew you were on the way. 6 seems very old and very grown up. I'm not quite sure where that time's gone. I love watching you grow and change and seeing the little person that you're becoming. Although you're not that little anymore. In fact, you've stopped holding my hand, which I'm not very impressed with. Other boys still hold their mum's hand, but not you. I don't think you want to show yourself up in front of your friends, but anyway, more hand holding please. I love holding your hand. You have an amazing sense of justice, and you always have. Last year you went to the cinema with your daddy and you went to see a Kermit movie, and apparently there was a Kermit impersonator, so there was a Kermit pretending to be Kermit, and he had a mole, so that was the only difference, and you had to leave the cinema because you genuinely could not cope with the fact that this frog was pretending to be Kermit, and I love that. That's such a wonderful sense of what's right and what's wrong. Although you don't tend to implement that when playing with your sister or when playing sport. I've never quite seen anyone go down as fast and as hard as you do when you fall over in football and roll and roll and roll. I don't even know where you got that, because you don't watch that much football apart from Match of the Day on a Sunday morning. You really love sport, and when we moved to Super Grandma's, you kind of came into your own where sport was concerned. You now play football for the local team, you play rugby for the local team, which is also a national team, so you should be very proud of playing for them. And you just play all the time, you just want to be doing. If you could play football every single minute of every single day, you would. And I think you're going to be very good at sport. You've got the right physique. You're never going to be in the scrum, I'm afraid. Well, I'm not afraid, because I don't want you to be in a scrum, which makes maybe watching rugby a little easier for me as you get older. I just love watching your face when you're playing football or rugby. You positively skip across the pitch. You love it so much. You just love being involved, scoring tries, not necessarily scoring goals, because you're not really an attacker. You seem to be more of a defensive player, or in goal, which is your favourite place at the moment. And I just love watching the way that you interact with others when you're playing sport. It's just such a lovely little window into your life that you must have at school that we don't see. When we moved here, your reading and writing were not very good, but they are amazing now. You have put in so much hard work and effort, and I'm really proud of you, and so is your daddy, because your reading and writing is spot on now. You know how to read, you can write. You write as little notes, or you write as little things that you leave around the house, which you definitely wouldn't have thought about doing even 6 months ago. And that's really lovely to see. I'm also really proud of how you've settled into your new school, because moving schools is a really big deal, and I know it was for you too. You've taken it all in your stride, and your new friends are absolutely wonderful, and I think you've got a really nice group. Moving to a small school as well has really helped you, because the teachers have more time to spend with you, and you're really flourishing with that. And it's also really nice to be able to have a house where you can bring friends back and you can play in the garden and just have space to go and play with either your sister or your friends, and that's lovely. You also love singing and dancing, although I think that you love them a little bit less. Your tone is perfect, and you have, since you were a very small child, you've always been able to sing in such a beautiful little voice. When you read, you put so much expression into it. It's just a delight to hear. And so I think you always said you wanted to act or be on stage, and I think you would be very good at that. But whether or not you will, I don't know, because I think you're being swayed a bit by boys at the moment and wanting to do more of the things that the boys in your class do, which is just doing and sport. And that's fine, that's great. But I want to see this little side of you. You really love being in plays and doing shows for me and Daddy and your sister. You're very sensitive, you give wonderful cuddles, and at the moment the thing you really don't want to do is hurt anyone's feelings, and I think that's lovely. It's a really lovely trait for you to have, and I really hope that you will continue to grow in exactly the way that you are, still questioning the things that you do and accepting the things that you do, because you've always been a lot better at accepting things than your sister has. And just carrying on, because you really are such a wonderful little boy, and I'm looking forward to seeing what 6 has to bring us. Alright little boy, I love you.